Inflation came in, headline inflation looked great, 1.7%, which was like, wow, like that's way lower than what it was last month. It was at 2.3% last month. But then if you look at the underlying numbers, the things that people are buying and like consuming day to day, food prices were way up. For example, grocery prices were up 3.8% versus 3.2% in March. And restaurant prices were up 3.6% versus 3.2% in March. So like we're seeing much stronger inflation over the target for, some of the, food than we are for seeing things like, hey, the whole economy went down 1.7%. But now we're starting to see some of those tariffs come in on food prices. People maybe not spending as much on different things or buying more expensive produce or products than they would have otherwise. But the biggest contributors, beef up 16.2%, coffee and tea 13%, fresh vegetables 3.7%, but candy is 8.6%. I think people are having barbecues at Easter a lot in April. And I think that's maybe
it's the month for it. And we did have some nice weather before, all this rain and stuff has washed out our dreams of an early summer and the cold weather. I mean, these are things on the list that I've noticed at the grocery store. I don't eat at restaurants primarily or for the most part, but I do enjoy beef. I love my coffee, fresh vegetables, candy. I can do without. I don't really have much of a sweet tooth. But I've noticed it. You're like looking for. We had some lower prices, and it looked like stuff was going on sale again and different specials. And that seems to be like the only thing on special now is pork. And I don't like to eat too much of that. I don't mind it, but
yeah,
let's get the beef going again.
Yeah, well, I don't eat either of those things, but I do. But I haven't noticed. But I did notice like candy was up, chocolate was up. Like that seemed like it was very expensive this year at Easter versus like, hey, this little bunny is expensive compared to what the big one was a couple of years ago. Now I don't buy a lot of candy. Well, actually, I do buy dark chocolate. We've talked about that before, and the price of that has gone up.
78% dark for me.
85% for me is like up. A $4 bar or less. I used to be able to get 3 for $10 or $10. That went to 3 for $11, and now it's at like 1 is $5 each.
Yeah, that's crazy because I was getting it 2 for $7. That's how I would stock up 2 at a time. That would last me a couple.
That's
weeks.
Similar price, right? 3 for $11, basically.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, it has been challenging. And that'll freak people out on the home ownership front when the cost of everything seems to keep going. We need relief, but the relief looks like in 2 weeks, June 4th, we probably won't get it.
No, I don't think so. Let me just share a couple more things. Vehicle prices are up. Auto insurance is up 7.7% on the year. Auto insurance is up. That's coming out of people's pockets every month, right?
Every month.
People aren't necessarily buying a car, but they're buying insurance. A couple things that are down is shelter cost, actually. Natural gas prices come down. Mortgage interest rate year over year has come down. But rents are up about 5% over the year. Now, I think that's situational. We're seeing rents in some of the big cities come down. Toronto's rent prices have decreased month over month. I think I want to say 7 times the last 7 months that's gone down. So the cost of things that people are buying on a month-to-month basis are getting worse. Natural gas, the carbon tax has come off. So that's a benefit for people. They're not paying as much there as they were before. But yeah, all of this is really clouding the Bank of Canada's outlook, right? What are we going to do? There was about a 70% chance that they were going to cut rates before last week. That number, what do you have a guess on what it is now?
I think it's 40%.
We're at 31%.
31%.
31% chance according to the market.
Oh. Yeah.
So that's a no bueno. That's not happening at this point. We're not going to see a rate cut in June unless things remarkably change over the next 2 weeks.
No, Prime Minister Carney, our elbows up, campaigning, taking a tough stance against the U.S., basically just dropped all the counter tariffs to the U.S. So that's going to help in terms of keeping inflation down. Wasn't what he said he was going to do, but that will probably help with inflation numbers. So that'll help us get to lower rates, I think. What do you think about that?
I don't necessarily know if like solving the U.S. trade differences is going to remarkably lower rates. I think that it probably has the opposite effect. We probably start to see more confidence in the market. We start to see people spending more in that circumstance, which would like elevate inflation. If people are out, they're spending money, things are happening, people are buying more houses, more cars, that's going to push demand up. And it sounds like these tariffs, like what I heard yesterday, the ambassador to Canada from the US said, like all countries will have at least some sort of tariff on them. And hopefully Canada has the least amount of tariffs. So I can't see us keeping our tariff. Oh, like, well, the U.S. wants to keep tariffs off. I mean, if they want to spend more money to buy our aluminum and our potash and oil, then, fill your boots. But I don't see that remarkably changing where interest rates are going right now.
Well, I mean, it'll certainly lowering the tariffs should increase spending, increase GDP, but lowering the tariffs would also keep prices lower. And I think that was the